Well, we're taking your phone calls. We bring up the oil spill because the petroleum products are used throughout the country, and it may eventually likely affect some businesses here. 502-276-2118. I believe we have a caller on the phone, Julie.
We do. Pamela from Lousivlle is on the line. Hi, Pamela.
Hi.
Good morning.
What's your question?
My question is, can you're on disability fall retirement?
Okay, Pamela, apparently we got a bad connection in your line, so we're going to hang up. But call us back, Pamela.
Right back.
Sometimes this happens, these phone lines, cell phones, whatever go in. But give us a call right back, 502-276-2118. I heard the word retirement, and I don't know what else about out there.
Feedback from the TV or something.
You know, I had a question for you, Carl. I was just watching the news last night, and they were talking about, a lot of people are asking the question now, what happened to the money, all the money that was raised for Haiti relief? They've been talking about that a lot now. Why is it taking so long for the rebuild to happen? You know, and I always wondered, when things like this happen, it's great, and we talked about it when it happened, about being careful about who was approaching you for money.
Right.
But how can you track it? And when you don't see results happening as quickly as we should, how can you keep an eye on that and make sure your money's going where it's supposed to?
Well, it's a tough balance, you know, in any type of administration like that, to balance the, you know, securing the funds, you know, to prevent any, you know, fraud or waste or abuse versus getting it to the source quickly. You know, so that's a tough balancing act, you know, and whether it's a federal agency, you know, unfortunately there's bureaucracy involved in trying to get through that, and you know, so it's a tough to balance that. So, you know, that is a horrible thing. Yeah,
people get frustrated, and I think they're looking for someone to blame or put, you know, it's not happened yet, so whose fault is that? And maybe, like you said, it's just the bureaucracy. It takes a while, but...
502-276-2118. Pamela, call us back. We had a little phone difficulty, but I believe we have a caller on Lousivlle Live this morning from Carrollton. Bob. Good morning, Bob. What's your question for...
Rob.
What's your question for Karl Truman?
Yeah, it's Rob, but it's all right. I just wanted to thank his law firm. I hired him about 5 weeks ago for my disability case, and I got it within 5 weeks, so I don't know what they did, but I sure want to thank them a whole bunch.
Fantastic. Thank you,
Rob.
Rob.
If you're still with us here, I mean, Karl works in Kentucky and Indiana. You're obviously in Carrollton. When you called their office, I mean, they responded. Obviously, this is what a law firm, Karl says, should do, is respond to you, the client. I guess they responded quickly.
Still there?
Are you still there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm here.
I mean, they responded quickly. I guess you were not surprised, but extremely pleased.
Well, yeah. To be honest with you, when I first went there, they was real nice and upfront. They told me it could take a while. And I'll be darned if it wasn't 5 weeks later. I got a letter in the mail stating that I got it. So
good.
That's fantastic. That's great. Thank you, Rob, for sharing that.
And that's the thing. Talk a little bit about your staff, Karl. A little bit about your office. You work a lot of cases. You oversee cases. You have a great staff there. To share a little bit about this when he calls, what experience people will have.
Well, and with his, it is frustrating. Social Security typically does take a long time to get through, and it does get very frustrating. You know, having to go through the appeal process. You know, well, what we look for, you know, there's certain listings that Social Security says if you meet these criteria, then, you know, you're supposed to get your benefits. You know, so, you know, we do try to identify what are those listings, you know, and then we even submit memorandums to the, you know, to the judges to try to get them to look at it ahead of time without a hearing. You know, so of course one of my keys that I push with my employees is customer service. You know, we call them clients, but, you know, I still call them customers, because, you know, customer service is so important to make sure that, you know, when people initially call our office, that we, you know, respond right away and follow up and move things along, and returning phone calls, you know, which is always a challenge in a busy day. You know, I stay late in the evening. You know, I've called clients at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and they're like, "Why are you? You know, where are you? You're still at work."
Rob has Social Security disability, but Karl works with workers' comp. He works with accidents on the river, on land. You slip, you fall. Works with a lot of injuries. So you remember his number there is 1-800-ACCIDENT. Our number taking phone calls 502-276 right now 2118.
Definitely give us a call with your questions. We've got a caller on the line now. Tina in Lousivlle has a question. Hi, Tina.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Good, thank you.
My question is,
I am trying to obtain a pardon for something that was done. Is it okay if I go ahead?
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're talking to
Okay.
Carl. Yes.
For something that happened years ago. And I'm trying to find out how I could go about doing that.
What was the situation that happened just in general? What was the scenario?
Well, it happened like over 10 years ago. What it is to have a felony, and it happened to do with death by deception.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to get a pardon, and I don't know how to go about to get that off of my record.
Okay, thanks, Tina, for
Did she
your
say
call.
she's trying to get an
A felony. Oh, a felony.
Basically, I think what she's looking for is what's called an expungement, meaning that if it's been a certain number of years for certain types of offenses, to go back and basically ask for the court to remove it from your record. And that's it's tough to do with felonies. Misdemeanors, it's much easier to do. Felonies, and there's so many variables. What you need to talk to someone, a criminal defense lawyer, someone that really focuses their practice on criminal defense. And the word you want to ask about is expungement, and see if it's possible to go to court and ask the judge to expunge your record, because obviously a felony can have many effects on employment and a lot of things.
And Tina,
First thing
if
by
you're not
home.
sure who to call, I would recommend that you call Carl a bit later. He doesn't handle this type of work, but he has
can
so
direct
many
you.
lawyers he works with, and he can put you in the right direction. So if you're just not know where to call his office. He has many attorneys he works with and can probably put it
That's
in the
right.
right direction.
And that's a good point, that even though there might be cases that I don't handle, I try to steer people in the right direction
Yeah.
to get the help they need.
I think that's a lot of people's issue is when they come up against things like this where they would need your services or a different type of attorney, it's usually not something they're well versed in. They're not even sure what it is that they need to ask for.
Well, that's true. That's true. And that's one of the services that I provide, is to try to, even again, if it's something that I may not handle, to try to point them in the right direction.
And Tina, we wish you luck with your situation.
Yes.
Donna from Louisville is calling Louisville Live this morning in the legal line with Karl Truman. Good morning, Donna.
Yeah. My question, I have a friend, in the now, and he went for, what do you, let go in, I know, and you're concerned, and go with
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of phone problems.
Donna, I think the rain, the atmospheric conditions today must be playing havoc with certain phone lines because, like
Atmospheric
Pamela,
conditions.
you were a bit muttered. But Donna, call back real quick. Call back real quick. Connection will be better. I have confidence.
was fancy.
Call back in like 30
Atmospheric
seconds, real quick. Yeah.
Maybe,
No, it does.
maybe their
Pam and
TVs are
Donna.
too loud or something.
Yeah,
Turn the
maybe
TV
your
down,
TV's loud.
listen to your
I
phone.
didn't get a good grip of what she was calling back, but hopefully she'll call
Yeah,
back. So,
I wanna hear it.
but we had rain today, and there were a lot of accidents out this morning because we
Unfortunately.
haven't had a big rain in weeks.
Yeah, that's something I'd be careful of. Sometimes a light rain can actually be more dangerous than a heavy rain, with all of the substance on the roadway making it more slick. So, we should always remember when there is bad weather, just slow down, take our time, leave a little more time, whether it's, at Spaghetti Junction or crossing the bridge or right out here, just slow down.
And as you say so often, watch out for the other guy. People are like,
Yeah, to
I
drive.
feel like I'm on top of it, but that doesn't mean everybody around you.
Yeah, got to drive defensively. And
Okay, here's what we got to do. Pamela, if you're still watching, and Donna, if you're still
Yes.
watching, call the number on your screen right here, 1-800-ACCIDENT. Tell them that there were some phone conditions, and Karl and his staff will personally
Atmospheric.
return your call when he gets back to the office. 1-800-ACCIDENT. We know we had other people calling up. Call 1-800-ACCIDENT.
That's
Tell them
the
you were
easy
trying
way.
to call Karl at Louisville Live this morning. His staff and even Karl will return your calls. We're just out of time. Maybe next week we'll take more calls and double it up.